My friend treated me horribly during her wedding planning. I want to end the friendship.
Bridezilla alert? Anybody? Perhaps?
I say no.
Oh,
I don't.
really? Oh, you're thinking OP's overreacting.
My 27 female friend, 27 female, let's call her Sarah, is getting married soon and recently found out she's pregnant. I'm her maid of honor, and ever since her engagement, she's expected me to handle almost everything for her wedding, despite me working full-time and doing my master's degree. By the way, this comes from Pretend to Pay 39, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So she refuses to hire help. So on her wedding day, I'll be getting my hair and makeup done at 6 a.m., then setting up her entire venue from 7 a.m. until the wedding starts at 3 p.m., along with a few of her cousins. In my culture, you hire people for this, and you never expect your guests to work at your wedding. So this already feels excessive to me. Edit. I have to pay for my hair and makeup, which again is not a thing in my culture. So it's not like I'm actually going to her wedding for free. I'll be working at her wedding and paying for all of my accommodations and such. She's also not giving any wedding favors because she thinks paying for food is already enough. Many people from both her and her fiance's families aren't even attending. She doesn't work, so money isn't a big factor, but it's really hurtful considering my full-time job, my master's degree, and now being her maid of honor, while she's just talks about how stressed she is all the time. She takes away time from my job or school to vent for hours per day about her fiance. Sometimes it seems like she's the only one messaging me because the texts don't read as if they're from her. On top of all of this, our friendship feels incredibly one-sided. She got engaged on my birthday and never acknowledged it. I ignored this, but she constantly asks me when my birthday is, and I usually laugh it off saying, the same day you got engaged. Feels like she's rubbing it in my face because she's been with her partner a lot shorter than I've been with mine. She also never reached out while I was on a deeply spiritual 10-day trip, which really made me reflect on our dynamic. It feels like if I don't initiate contact, we wouldn't have a friendship at all. Since she found out she's pregnant, I've been really lenient on this, but she doesn't have a job and hasn't worked in years. She has a dog that she hasn't trained. And honestly, her being pregnant and completely dismissive of any scientific literature on parenting and pregnancy scares me. She thinks she will be able to raise the perfect child because kids can speak. Her dog doesn't understand English.
Oh, that's great. Hey, newsflash. The kid doesn't understand any language until it learns it.
As if it's easier to raise a kid than train a dog.
Who does that?
I'm not against people that don't work. But, like, she's putting a lot on OP right now. And OP has a lot on her plate. And like, even though you're not working, I understand that you're about to get married and you're pregnant. And that is a lot. Putting a lot on OP. I don't think she understands what, she has right here.
She's not a friend, dude. Like, I don't know. I think it was the rubbing, like, being like, when is your birthday? It's like, my birthday is the day that you got engaged.
Yeah.
You know it, so why are you now saying it like that?
After asking a few times, you know when someone's birthday is. Recently, I was on a 40-hour travel journey home, exhausted from kids punting my seat and screaming on the plane. I tried to explain to her that I was tired and didn't have the energy for a deep talk. Instead of sympathizing, she took it personally, saying she'll be traveling with her newborn in the future and that she doesn't respect my opinion that I don't appreciate misbehaved children because parents aren't responsible. I actually did make an exception for kids crying because their ears popped or had a bad dream, because you can't control that. But kids jumping on their seats, punting my chair, and screaming about the games they were playing on the plane TV, constantly knocking my head as they fired their finger at the screen. I paid an extra $200 for my emergency exit seat for peace of mind, and I definitely didn't get that. I replied with some basic scientific info on flying with infants, which I know about because I'm interested in pregnancy and parenting. I even reassured her that it's her life and she should do whatever she wants if her doctor approves. She acted fine in the moment, but later messaged me on a platform she knows I rarely check, saying I crossed the boundary. She said that as an expectant mother, she didn't appreciate me educating her because she already has a doctor and a mom. Meanwhile, she previously got mad at me for not warning her about pregnancy risks like miscarriage, so I feel like I can't win. Tell me about this! Don't tell me about that! Tell me about this! Don't tell me about that! This makes me think you have to be really, really careful with the people you surround yourself with, because there's this thing called a soothing ear. Because Because if you have a friend that always tells you things you want to hear,
Yeah.
that's dangerous.
Yeah, it's just a yes man.
Yes, this, that, and telling you things that you only accept and you're not willing to hear things that are hard to hear, puts you in a really comfortable situation and it makes you very selective and honestly, doesn't allow you to grow.
Yeah, put you in a bubble.
What really stung was that earlier that day, I had excitedly messaged her about my maid of honor dress arriving and how perfect it was. She completely ignored my text, and then 5 hours later, only reached out on the platform I don't use just to criticize me. It felt like she deliberately chose to engage only when she had an issue with me. She told me I disrespected her by giving her information she didn't ask for. Again, she got mad at me in the past for not sharing pregnancy risks. She also claimed that I went on and on, when in reality, only one text went through because the plain Wi-Fi wasn't working. I feel completely disrespected because unless I kiss the floor she walks on and accepts any uneducated opinion she pulls out of her butt, she gets angry. I usually try to agree with her to appease her, but when it comes to health of a baby, I'm very concerned. I've started to feel like everything is always about her. She gets mad at people for doing things she constantly does, holding grudges for small things but expecting me to forgive her instantly. When I finally told her I accept it if she no longer wanted me to be at her wedding or in her life, she didn't respond. You know what? She has one app she wants you to read, and then she has another app of all the things she's sending you that you haven't even signed up for. She's just saying all the bad things about you there.
So the text messages that she just sent was basically like, I'm done. I'm out. Right? She just sent the message.
She
being
was like,
I'm out.
She's like, if you don't want me in your wedding or your life, just let me know.
OP, just take the initiative and be like, I don't want to be in your wedding or your life. Take the initiative. Take it. Take it.
I'm starting to feel guilty, like maybe I was too harsh, but my other friends have been telling me for a while to cut her off. So am I the a-hole for wanting to step back from this friendship, or am I overreacting? Comments. To be honest, I'd step away from being a maid of honor and advise her that due to your job and your master's commitments, you need to step down to just being a guest at the wedding. Make yourself far less available to her and possibly go low contact. Friendships should be pretty equal, and this is a long way from that. You deserve better. Opie says, I've tried addressing this, but she usually dismisses me with, oh, come on, it's not that much work. She constantly undermines what I have to do. After weeks of struggling to show her different bouquets, flowers, and arrangements, she suddenly says, fine, I'll just order my own flowers, as if I haven't spent all this time helping her. She also complained about spending $1,500 on flowers and blaming me for picking the most expensive option. I try to explain that flowers are very expensive, and while I didn't want to say it was cheap or what she wanted, it was actually a reasonable price. In my culture, you don't ask friends to do this kind of work, and weddings are extravagant. Just look at Lebanese weddings. I was open-minded and doing my best, but nothing I did ever seemed good enough. After dealing with the flowers, I told her I couldn't keep putting in this much time without any appreciation. I wasn't asking for much, just to feel like my efforts were recognized. I had already accepted that I had to pay for everything myself on top of giving her a wedding present, but it feels like she doesn't appreciate me at all. Honestly, why should she? She didn't go to school and hasn't worked in years. Her fiance gives her an allowance, which she's using to fund her wedding. She's white, by the way. I know the situation sounds Arab, but it's just because she hasn't worked in years. His mom even threatened to evict her because she doesn't pay rent at the apartment they rent out to them. And we got an update.
We've already said it. Get out of there.
Yeah.
Remove yourself from this situation.
You got to get out. This is...
Also, I just looked up Lebanese weddings. They look very extravagant. So to just expect OP or like your friends to just put all this on for you without really paying or like getting more help, it's like, well, we need to temper our expectations now, don't we?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just seems like you'll be better off without this friend.
Oh, absolutely. I was not expecting things to go this way. After I reached out to my friend, excited that my maid of honor dress had arrived, she ignored my message and instead replied to me hours later on a platform I barely check on. Her response wasn't about my excitement at all, but instead a long message accusing me of things I never said or did. She told me that my thoughts on separate topics, which are based on actual research, were not factual and just my opinion. She also accused me of never letting her express her thoughts in our conversations. Despite the fact that I always listen and support her, she even brought up unrelated past conversations and twisted them into saying something I don't even recognize. I generally don't understand where this is coming from. This happened again in the last story where someone would pull something from the past to accuse the person.
Yeah.
What is this called? And why are we doing this?
And like drudging.
Is that what that's called?
I don't know. Just like going, you go fishing. You pull it out. You go, hey, look, here's a problem that we had 5 months ago.
Let me just bring
Let's
it back
bring
up.
that one up.
What really stings is that I have been nothing but supportive of her wedding. I've encouraged her every step of the way, listened to her vent, and have been excited for her, even when she hasn't always reciprocated my excitement, which, to be honest, I ignored because I understood how stressful wedding and baby planning is. And now, after all this, she never actually said I'm out of the wedding. But the tone of her message makes it clear that she no longer wants me involved in her life at all. And guys, we want you involved in our lives. Because if you don't go to your favorite podcast platform right now and search up OK Storytime, we will banish you forever. We will find you. We know who looks and who doesn't look, but we will banish you. But it's that easy. 2 simple steps. Favorite podcast platform, OK Storytime. Do it.
Did you just threaten everyone in the chat that we're going to banish them
I absolutely did.
to the nether realm?
I haven't messaged her family or the bridal party yet because my heart is racing and I don't want to react out of pure emotion. But it just really hurts. I know I shouldn't let false accusations get to me, but when it's a friendship I've cared about and invested so much in, it's hard not to feel blindsided. I let her know I wish her the best in her wedding, her marriage, her family, and her life. Am I overreacting for this by being hurt? Should I even try to clarify anything or just accept that she's made up her mind?